In the land of Canaan, where Abraham sojourned as a foreigner, sorrow fell upon his household. His beloved wife, Sarah, the mother of nations and the bearer of the promise, had breathed her last in Hebron in the land of Kiriath Arba. At 127 years old, she departed from this life, and Abraham, the man of faith, mourned deeply for her. But even in his grief, he sought to honor her with a proper burial. And so began a pivotal moment in the story of God's covenant, where Abraham would claim his first piece of the promised land, not through conquest, but through a righteous transaction. Abraham sat in silence before the lifeless form of his beloved Sarah. The weight of her absence pressed upon his soul, yet he did not wail as those without hope. He had walked with God for many years, trusting the divine promise that his descendants would inherit this land. But now he needed a resting place for Sarah, a place where she would be honored for generations to come. Rising from his grief, Abraham wiped his eyes and went to speak with the sons of Heth, the people of the land. Though a man of great wealth and favor, he was still a foreigner in their midst. He humbled himself, knowing that what he sought must be given willingly. At the gates of Hebron, where the elders gathered, Abraham spoke to the Hittites. "I am a foreigner and a stranger among you. Grant me a burial site among you, that I may bury my dead out of my sight." The Hittites, recognizing Abraham's standing, responded with great respect. "Hear us, my lord. You are a mighty prince among us. Bury your dead in the choicest of our tombs. None among us will withhold his burial place from you." But Abraham had set his heart on a specific place, a cave in the field of Machpelah, owned by a man named Ephron, the son of Zohar. And so he made his request known. "If you are willing for me to bury my dead, entreat Ephron for me, that he may sell me the Cave of Machpelah at its full price as a burial site among you." Ephron, seated among the elders, heard the request and replied with generosity, "No, my lord, I give you the field and the cave within it. In the presence of my people, I give it to you. Bury your dead." But Abraham, a man of honor, refused to take the land for free. He understood that God's promises were not to be obtained by favors from men, but through divine faithfulness and rightful possession. So he bowed before the people and insisted, "Please let me pay the full price. I will buy the field from you. Name your price, and I will pay it." Ephron, seeing Abraham's resolve, named the price. "My lord, listen to me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. But what is that between you and me? Bury your dead." Without hesitation, Abraham weighed out the silver before the elders, ensuring that all was done in fairness and truth. And thus, the field of Machpelah, along with its cave, became his possession, the first piece of the promised land legally owned by the people of God. With the transaction complete, Abraham took Sarah's body and laid her in the Cave of Machpelah, facing Mamre in the land of Canaan. The place was now sacred, the resting ground of the woman through whom God's covenant had been established. Though Abraham was still a sojourner, this act was a foretaste of God's promise fulfilled. The land where Sarah lay would one day be filled with his descendants, as numerous as the stars in the heavens. The Cave of Machpelah would become the tomb of the patriarchs, a testimony to the faith of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who trusted in the everlasting covenant. Thus, Abraham not only honored Sarah in her death, but also laid the foundation for the inheritance of his people. Through wisdom, humility, and faith, he secured a place that would stand as a witness to the generations to come. And so, in the quiet hills of Hebron, the Cave of Machpelah remained, a legacy of faith, a symbol of God's promise, and the first claim of the covenant people upon the land that would one day be theirs forever.